relations as long as you treat us with respect, as long as you respect our interests, just as we have always tried to respect yours. If you don't deceive us, like you did with NATO's eastward expansion. They said there would be no NATO movement eastward, not an inch.
You about your relations with President Trump and the United States. President Trump has a peace agreement on the table. Ukraine is offering huge compromises, but you keep talking about war. Mr. President, if you reject President Trump's peace proposal, you will be responsible for the deaths of Ukrainians and Russians in 2026.
We do not consider ourselves responsible for the loss of life because we did not start this war. This war began after a coup d'etat in Ukraine, an unconstitutional armed coup in 2014, and then the start of hostilities by the leaders of the Kiev regime against their own citizens in southeastern Ukraine. We, for our part, did not recognize it for a long time. The independence, the sovereignty of the then unrecognized republics of the Donetsk People's Republic and the Luhansk People's Republic. And after we were deceived, and after the Minsk agreements were not implemented, we were forced to use armed forces to put an end to the war that had been started by the Kiev regime with the support of Western countries. President Trump is making serious efforts to end this conflict. As I have said many times, he is doing this, in my view, absolutely sincerely. Moreover, at the meeting with President Trump in Anchorage, we coordinated and practically agreed with President Trump's proposals. Therefore, to say that we are rejecting something is absolutely incorrect and has no basis whatsoever. At the initial preliminary meetings held in Moscow, various significant proposals were formally made to us, and we were subsequently asked to consider making certain specific compromises. When I arrived in Anchorage, I said that these would not be easy decisions for us, but we agreed to the compromises proposed to us. Therefore, to say that we are rejecting something is completely incorrect and has no basis whatsoever. The ball is entirely and completely in the court of our Western adversaries, let's put it that way. Primarily, the prominent leaders of the current Kiev regime, and in this particular instance, above all, their influential European sponsors and financial backers. We are ready both for negotiations and for resolving the conflict by peaceful means.